Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first virtual session for some content for you all as first generation students as a part of the First in the Family program. The first one we're going to focus on this week is Advising 101, giving some information about what your advising experience will look like at Carthage in your first semester. Before we jump in, my name is Anna Thompson. I am a Student Success Advisor in the Center for Student Success, and I currently coordinate the First in the Family program and the First Generation Mentoring program that you may have gotten some information about already. And I will let my colleague introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Joseph Toohey, and I am the Interim Director of the Center for Student Success. So at Carthage, what we have devised is a holistic advising model. So by holistic, we mean addressing the entire experience, your entire college experience. So if you'll look at this model, you'll see three colored circles in the center: your student success advisors, your faculty advisors, and your career specialists. Now, each of these will be your core advising team, and they will each have specific roles, though they will overlap to some degree, right? We'll go over those roles in a minute. On the outside, I want you to notice, connected by the arrows, a supporting team. So you have academic support services, faculty instructors. So these would be faculty that are not your faculty advisor. Student financial planning, athletics. This would include the athletic director and the coaching staff. And then you would have student affairs. So this would be residential life, health and counseling, and Center for Faith and Spirituality, those types of services, which are all housed within the Division of Student Affairs. Here we have the descriptions of those core advisors in the holistic advising model. So your faculty advisors, they will assist students in navigating the curriculum in the context of their program of study as they meet the learning outcomes necessary to be successful in their field. What that means is that when it pertains to your major and your course selection, you will be meeting with your faculty advisors to determine the best course of action for you to take regarding your academic course selection and program of study. The career specialists, they're going to guide students in preparing for future personal and professional life through reflection on their strengths and interests and exposure to experiential learning opportunities. I think key here is the experiential learning opportunities. So career specialists will be able to connect you with things like internships, any out-of-class experience that is going to bolster your marketability for when and your whole college experience, so that when you graduate, you will go out into that workforce and you will have the experience you need to get started in living that life that you chose to pursue. Then we have your student success advisors. That's our team in the Center for Student Success. And we're there to support you in transitioning successfully to college and to facilitate your academic success and persistence by addressing unique needs in a higher education setting. So that's a mouthful, right? What does that mean? There are going to be certain differences between high school and college. Some of them are going to be glaringly obvious. Some of them are going to be more subtle, right? We're there to help you identify what those are and to come up with plans to address those various needs. We're there to introduce you to the resources available across campus. We have numerous resources, whether it's the Writing Center, again, Health and Counseling, Tutoring Center. All of these resources exist to help you succeed. And we want to make sure that you know where those are, who to speak to, and how those offices can help you. We are multifaceted in our working with you. There are many different things we can do, but a lot of what we do is to help you figure out where you can get help and what resources are available. I'll now introduce the Aspire Center Career Specialist. As you'll see, we have photos here of our team in the Aspire Center. Sarah Gorky. So if you are an undeclared major or your major falls within the arts and culture career cluster, then you would be assigned to work with Sarah Gorky. So for those majoring in the fields of government, nonprofit, or law, that would be Trevor Young. Then we have Carolyn Serdar. She is working with students in the science and pre-health career cluster. And then Tom Wood with students in business and technology career cluster. These will be assigned to you based upon your selected major. You will have an opportunity to speak with some of the career specialists through College Success Seminar. We will get more into that in time.
So you've learned a little bit about the Aspire Center and the career specialists. And so just to give a little bit more insight into the student success advisors you may see within our office where Joseph and I work in the Center for Student Success. We were the third component there with faculty advisors and career specialists that you'll see assigned to you in the first semester, and that will work with you throughout your entire time at Carthage. You saw Joseph earlier. He's currently our interim director. So he's there to support the efforts of the center and work with some other student populations as needed. And then we have Brandy France, who's on the top right there. She's been at Carthage for a little over a year, and so many of you will see her as your student success advisor, as well as Mike Larry on the bottom left. He's been at Carthage for over 30 years, so he's very experienced and has lots of information to share. And then myself on the bottom right. Each of us, beyond being there to support you for your overall student success, works on a few other projects through our office that you may come in contact with us as a part of that. So we manage our student outreach system on campus, which is just a system that exists for students, faculty, staff. Anybody on campus can submit a concern about a student, whether that be academic, something that may be going on, mental health wise, all sorts of things that we may get a concern submitted, and then we would reach out to you. So if you happen to get a concern submitted to you about classes because you were struggling for some reason, one of us, whoever's assigned as your student success advisor, would reach out to you and try and help you figure out what's going on and get back on track. We also manage a program called the Carthage Academic Achievement Program, which is there to support students who may end up on academic probation due to their GPA after a certain semester. So we help those students figure out a plan and provide some additional support to get you back on track grade-wise. So there's a few other things we do here and there, but I think those are the most important right now to talk about. We wanted to talk a little bit about what you can expect in this first fall semester about your advising and registration experience. As you start your fall semester, you'll have that schedule that was created for you for the fall semester. You'll have the first week of the term to add and drop classes however you'd like. So if you get started in a course and you're not super loving it, or you have some concerns about what you're seeing on the syllabus and you'd like to try and swap it for something else, you have the ability to do that yourself through your my.carthage.edu portal in that first week of classes. So you may not know how to do that because you haven't used the system yet. So your faculty advisor, who may be assigned already, or the registrar's office can help you with that process in that first week. And then in the second week of classes, you still have the ability to make some schedule changes, but it just looks a little different. So the restricted add drop means that you can drop courses through the registrar's office. So instead of just being able to log in and drop the course yourself through the system, you just need to contact the registrar's office to do that drop for you. And then the add piece is that you need instructor permission at that point. And that's because classes will have been going on for a week or almost two, and they want to make sure that the instructor is willing to add you to that course and get you caught up so that you're set up the best to do well starting that course late. So technically you have the first 2 weeks to make adjustments to your schedule as you're getting used to the class. So that's important to know. And to know that your faculty advisor in the registrar's office will be your main point of contact for support. So what it looks like for you to think about your J-term and spring classes, and I know that's very far off. Right now it's the middle of June and you haven't even started your first semester, but we want to talk through what that looks like, so you don't have any major surprises and you can feel a little bit more prepared. So as first-time freshmen, you will have somewhat of a similar experience in terms of how your schedule is put together as it was for the fall. So the registrar's office is going to take a look at your majors or minors that you have declared, or if you're undeclared, they're going to look at whatever your programs of study are and pre-enroll you in courses for J-term and for spring. So for J-term, that would be 1 4-credit class. And then for spring, that's, a schedule that would consist of 16 to 18 credits. And they look at all the curriculum based on general education and your programs of study and get you in courses that would help you make progress. So you'll get that pre-enrolled schedule, you'll be in those courses, you're automatically going to be registered for them. And then you'll be able to view that schedule right as the advising period starts in the fall semester. So that's right around early to mid-October. When you view that schedule, the sort of route to take if you want to talk about the courses you're in, why you're in them, if you want to talk about if there's other options instead of the classes you were put in, you would reach out to your faculty advisor. So you'll have that faculty advisor assigned in the system, you'll meet with them during that advising period, and then they would grant you clearance so that you can go in and make adjustments to your schedule, either with them or on your own through the system, so that you can maybe add it or drop or, swap, adjust, however you want to do it, some of the courses you may be enrolled in. You're not going to be able to do that until your assigned registration date. So there's still going to be sort of a set date and time that you're going to be allowed to go in and make adjustments. And that's typically in early November. So you'll start this process in early October, seeing your schedule that you were pre-enrolled in, and then over the course of the next month, you can meet with your faculty advisor, talk it through, get some suggestions. If you're happy with your schedule, you don't have to do anything. You're in those courses. If you want to make adjustments, then you would make sure you've met with that faculty advisor and have that clearance in the system, and then you can make those adjustments at your assigned registration date and time in early November. And then beyond that, you have a little bit more autonomy, and we'll talk through that process through your College Success Seminar class as well, what some of that advising and registration would look like beyond that first fall semester experience. So the College Success Seminar course that I just mentioned is a way to guide you through that first half of the semester to really help you adjust well to the experience. So you all are first-time freshmen, so you're going to be meeting for the first 7 weeks, so once a week for an hour for 7 weeks, to help you understand things about Carthage and about college life. So as first-gen students, this will be particularly helpful because it really outlines what's going to be the most important on campus for you to understand in terms of resources, and it helps build some of those college skills like study skills, time management, networking, how do you engage in extracurriculars, like how do you get involved on campus. So it really is a really nice guided way to help all first-time freshmen, but it's even more beneficial as first-gen students to get this information presented to you in a classroom environment. The student support resources, a lot of them that Joseph talked about earlier is a part of the holistic advising model and some of the support resources around campus we're going to expose you to in this course. So we spend a week working with the library, so you learn about all the resources that the library can help you with, whether that's research for an assignment, a paper, using the Writing Center or our Tutoring Center. And then we also spend a week bringing in the Aspire Center career specialist, like Joseph mentioned. Many of you will have your student success advisor as your instructor, but we're not the only ones who teach it. So there will be some other staff across campus, potentially from residential life or from the registrar's office or all sorts of different places that may also be teaching the courses. Across all sections of the course, we have peer coaches who are current returning Carthage students, so sophomores, juniors, or seniors, who've agreed to come back and work with us in the Center for Student Success to support the College Success Seminar sections. And so you'll have 1 to 2 of these students in your section every single week to help you, answer questions you may have, from a student perspective, lead some group outings to some activities that may be happening on campus, and just be another layer of support for you as you're getting adjusted in those first 7 weeks.
For those of you who worked with maybe a high school counselor regarding any kind of issues that impacted your learning, there is an office on Carthage's campus called the Office of Learning Accessibility. And Diane Showalter, who's pictured here, is the director of that office. She would work with any students who similarly have issues that impact their learning. Some of those common issues are things listed here like ADHD, dyslexia or dysgraphia, or autism spectrum disorders. And then she can provide accommodations such as extra test taking time, audiobooks, or other technologies to assist you in overcoming those barriers to your learning. In order for that to occur, you need to speak with Diane, and you need to provide her with documentation of your disability so that she will have that on file. Then she can reach out to your professors in a very discreet manner, just letting them know that you are working with her and that you should be afforded these particular accommodations. So moving to the next slide, we have some additional academic support, and this would be at the Tutoring Center and the Writing Center. So both the Tutoring and Writing Center are staffed by peer tutors. So these are students who have gone through the classes that you'll be going through. They have proven themselves to be successful in those classes. Oftentimes, they try to pair you with a tutor who has taken the same instructor that you have. So therefore, they understand what the expectations of the instructor are. They understand what the instructor is teaching, how they teach, and so they can better assist you in that way. There's also supplemental instruction. This would be a tutor that is embedded in the classroom. This typically happens more often in math and sciences. So you'll have a tutor that attends class and then works with students in that class in a group setting. Then there is also academic coaching. Now, academic coaching is different in that they're not so much working with the content of a course. They are really there to assist you with working on certain skills like time management or study habits, study skills. You'll find that not always, but in many cases, the ways that you have studied in the past in high school are not going to be sufficient to accommodate the expectations in a college classroom. So you may need to adjust those study habits and learn new ways of studying. Academic coaching is a great way to do this. As for the Writing Center, you can go to the Writing Center, meet with a peer writing tutor, and they can help you to think through this whole writing process, right? Writing process can be very intimidating. I know it was for me. So I would really encourage all students to utilize the Writing Center. I think you get a lot of benefit just from using it, even if you don't feel that you need to, right? Have someone look over your idea, kind of try to come up with some ideas and share those and just talk about them. They can help you with, how things should be formatted, what steps you should take, and how you should prepare for this writing process, because writing is a process. Now, the skills intensive program is for students who really struggle with their writing. To participate in this program, you need to be referred by one of your professors. So if your professor notices that you're really struggling, having a difficult time with some writing assignments, they may refer you to the skills intensive program, and then you will get some more specialized assistance in getting your writing skills up to college level.
This is just, some quick tips to think about as you're gonna, as you get on campus and start working, figure out your schedule and classes. It could very well be that you printed your schedule a couple days before classes started and you have it all set to go and you know where those classrooms are. but it is very likely, or there's a chance that a classroom could change, so the location of your class could change. So it's always really important that you check online at that current schedule where your classes are, so that you're not going to the wrong classroom. So another way to prepare to make sure you're not getting lost and making yourself late for classes is to walk around and maybe the night before and find those classrooms, so you've developed a pathway to get there, and so you know where to find it. That's particularly important just because some of the buildings at Carthage are a little tricky. They can kind of confuse you. Like Lentz Hall, you walk in and you're on the 3rd floor, so you have to go down to get to the 2nd and 1st floor. So some of those things, if you've done a tour of campus or as you're walking around during orientation or things like that, you might learn, but looking and kind of finding those courses ahead of time will be really beneficial. So we talked about all sorts of things today, and you may have follow-up questions, which we would love. Myself and Joseph are here on the left-hand side. If you have questions about anything we've talked about in the presentation, please feel free to contact us. And then on the right-hand side, we have Mary Duckworth, who is the registrar of the college, and Brandon Porter, who's the associate registrar. They are going to be a large part of helping you make schedule adjustments in mid-July when you see your schedules for the first time. And so they are also more than happy to answer any questions you may have about your advising and registration experience that we talked about today. In the past, we've had, our First in the Family pre-orientation program that allowed students to move in early and participate in some activities on campus, and unfortunately that's not going to be possible this year due to some of the restrictions with COVID-19. So we are still going to run our mentoring program, which is still an awesome opportunity for any first-gen student coming in to get paired with a current Carthage student to help you navigate all the things we were just talking about, plus any other questions that may come up. You'd be assigned along with 2 other incoming first-gen students to that mentor, and they would just be there to help you any way they can. So the link right there in the middle of the screen is where you can go to register for the mentoring program. It does require registration because there's a limited number of spots, and we want to make sure we have everybody on record that wants to participate when we do the mentor and mentee assignments. And you can register until July 17th. So if you're interested, please go on and do that as soon as possible so that we can ensure you get to participate. You'll receive that mentor by mid-August, so you'll actually have that person's name and contact information, and you can start working together before you even arrive on campus, so that you can have another person to help you just figure out everything you need to do to be ready to begin your experience at Carthage and at college. And then it'll allow you some opportunity to socialize with other first-gen students, because you'll meet the other students paired with your mentor. And then there'll be a couple events that happen where a few mentors will get together with their mentees, and so you can start to get to know other first-gen students and start building that network. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, but you can go to that website and register as soon as you're able. So again, if you have questions, here are the folks to reach out to, and don't hesitate to do so. Thanks for sticking through the presentation. I know it was a little bit long, but we hope that this helps ease some stress or some uncertainty about how things will work in the fall for support services and advising. And we look forward to helping you with any further questions.